VLEZZ.
Yeah, man. Got a certain question in here from Melodic Mystic regarding the SP-404A, which is pretty much the same as the SX and also pretty much the same as the SP-404 functionality wise, but you know, it's a little difference between them, namely storage method device. However, Shimanever, videos on chopping samples on the SP-404 are quite plentiful on the internet, but you haven't seen one from me. It's pretty much an easy deal, easy to get started, but I'm gonna share with you a couple of pieces of my minds, what goes through my head when I'm chopping the samples, and maybe you can approach it in a simple way. Here we go. Alright, first of all, let us find a group here that is relatively empty, so we have lots of luscious space for our little sample babies. We press rec, we press the pad we want to sample onto, and we press rec again when we wish to initiate the recording of the sample. And when we wish to no more record the sample, we press rec once again. Now you'll notice we got a little bit of air before the actual sample starts playing. Fine-tuning start and end points can be easily done with this dedicated button and the first knob, but in this case we're going to need to deactivate the mark, set a new one. Now we got a little bit closer and we can try and find that start point in our start and level menu right here with the first knob. Now we want to get rid of this silence in the beginning forever, so we truncate it by pressing delete, mark, and delete again. Let us have some fun with this sample. Press this button here, says time BPM. Now we can time stretch it to our very own liking. You don't need to do this, but I have a rudimentary drum pattern going on right here, and I want to try to sync the sample BPM with it. And I like to do this before I start chopping up the sample. I'll add any effects that I want, and per chance sometimes sync it up BPM wise. It gets dirty like this, time stretching it, but that is the sound that we like also from the SP-404. Now we're gonna resample this to another pad with an effect on it. You can see I got the filter activated here, and we're also going to split it into two parts to make it more manageable. Press resample, followed by rec. Choose your pad, empty pad. I don't want that one actually. Let us go with pad number 5. Press rec again, and whenever you're ready, keep your hands for the automation right here. Start playing it, and it's gonna start sampling as soon as you hit that pad, my man. Alright, we have now the first half of the sample, along with some swooping of the filter right on it. Now we're gonna resample the second part, so we get ready to mark a new start point here with a mark button once we get halfway through. Starting right now. Same procedure, resample, rec, choose your pad, press rec again. And let's start playing our second half of the sample. So we're now resampling this onto pad number 9, isn't it? Now we get to the actual chopping. We're gonna mark the second chop with the mark button. See what I did right there? Now resample to an empty pad, press rec, record that little nugget. So now we have chop number 2 on its own pad resampled. So we're using this pad as a source for our chops, placing out new marks every time we want to make a new chop, and then we resample it to a new pad. Amazing. Same procedure again. We resample the part that we marked on our original sample. Resample, rec, choose a pad, rec. And play it back. Another chop. Are you beginning to see now the politics behind this technique? Let us do it again. Deactivate the mark. And let's wait for our next chop. Mark it. And we're happy. You can fine-tune the start point like I said, as long as you're close enough with the mark. So you need to aim for being as close to the chop as possible, and then if you need to, you can fine-tune it with the start and level button. Resample it, And the cool thing is we already set the start point, and it's not going to start sampling until we hit the pad. So it's already very nice. Now you're beginning to see why when it's such a long sample, I wanted to divide it. Here's a little trick. You can hit the time BPM button and speed the sample up, and you won't have to wait quite as long before you reach the next mark. Awaiting our final chop here, and we press mark. We need to get a little bit closer, so we're going to adjust the start point here. Perfect. Let us resample our last chop. Here we go. Hold the remain button right here if you want to change what samples are being affected by the one effect you can have activated at once. Let's choose from the multi effects here, and we're going to find a favorite among many beat makers, which is effect number 16 right here, the vinyl simulator. We're going to make it even more dirtier more. So let's hold the effects button and dial it in. Dial it right on in. It could be a little bit tricky. There we go. 16. Vinyl simulator. You hear that dirt going on right there. So I want to get the settings right how I want them, to a personal preference right here. Now I want to redo the drum pattern, so I'm going to go to the group with some of my Dangerous Sound Kit drums. Hit pattern, record, set the length, and go at it. We'll use the resampling technique to stack samples on samples and make the patterns that way. But the pattern sequencer is another alternative, although it's somewhat rudimentary. Let us see how this sounds, shall we? Oh, yeah. I like this. You could, of course, resample yourself playing these pads onto one pad as well. Imagination is the station, you know what I'm saying? Alright, man, you know how him goes. It's easy as that. Massive thank you to everybody who bought the Dangerous Sound Kit. I think it's pretty amazing. Next time we're gonna finally watch the video on the Game Boy that I've been working on. Waiting on an overseas shipment right now with 2 flashcards. You will know what that is when you see the video. Anyhows, astronauts and sound adventurers, please stay safe, feel good, and have a maximum amounts of fun. Okay, bye-bye.